She had a little bit of something left for Janae Deloach-Sukup.
Well, how many times have we seen this? Brittany Reese struggling and struggling with her run, but she manages to get on the board when it counts the most. In the 6th round, Sukup couldn't answer, and Brittany Reese takes the win.
Reese wins by just 3/4 of an inch, but she takes it over Janae Deloach in the women's long jump rematch.
So last night, another London Games rematch took place here in the Drake Stadium. The men's 400 meters, just one lap of the track. What a race it was. Let's take a look. So the Capitol building of downtown Des Moines looking glorious in the sunshine or in the breeze nonetheless. At Drake University campus, it's Spike the Bulldog who stands proudly outside Drake Stadium for today's proceedings. It's a cool evening now. We can take a look at the records for the next event. The men's 400 meters, the 2013 world best, 44.72 by the Olympic champion from Kirani James. I don't think we'll see a sub-45 here tonight, but we might, because this man's running. The Olympic silver medalist, Llewellyn Santos from the Dominican Republic. He's just 19 years old, Santos. He had an incredible season last year at the age of 18. There he is, stripping down. And what a meet we've had already. So far tonight, we've had the top 2 times in the world for 2013 in both the men's 400 meter hurdles and the women's 1500 meters, and a world lead to boot in the pole vault for ladies too. So I wonder if Santos can keep that sort of consistency going with a quality run here.
And right outside him in lane 5, it's Jeremy Warner. He seems like he has to be ancient by now, but he's just 29. He won that gold medal in Athens when he was 20, a 20-year-old Baylor junior. Had a tough time in 2012 not making the Olympic team and then getting hurt in that race, so he could not participate in the 4x400 relay pool in London.
Well, there's the full lineup. Hubbard, Bonavacia. Lane 3 is open, incidentally. That was due to be Greg Nixon. Santos goes in 4. He'll be chasing Warner. Then Jaron Solomon, Luke Lennon Ford from Great Britain, and Marcus Boyd on the outside. Well, Santos, the world junior champion last year. He then went on to take the Olympic silver medal behind Kirani James. He was the 4th fastest in the world last year, but he displayed astonishing strength for one so young. Set his personal best last year too. Very early in the season, it was in May, actually, that Santos ran his 44.45 PR. So Hubbard in 1, Bonavacia in 2. Lane 3 is open, as we said. Santos goes in 4 in that yellow and black strip, chasing Jeremy Warner, the Olympic champion back in 2004. Who is 2/100ths of a second faster this year than Santos. On paper, in their early season races, they're almost identical. Santos in 4, Jeremy Warren in 5. Watch Jaron Solomon in 6 too. Well, away they go. The lane draw probably better for Santos. Warner, though, is a world-class 200-meter runner in the red there, center of picture. He's a tall figure, is Warner. Very consistent too in his racing prior to this last couple of years, but he's settled down now, and Santos has recognized it, and he storms past Warner like the big American is standing still and begins to close up on the rest of the field. And Santos had a very, very strong second half to his races last year. Quite what happened to Warner there, where he lost concentration, I don't know, but he jogged down the back straight virtually, and Santos has got this one sewn up unless Warner can come back at him very strongly. Nobody else in it at the moment, really. Outside to Warner in lane 6, Solomon having a solid run, and coming through on the outside is Boyd. But look at that margin of victory. 4 or 5 meters at the line. 44.74 for the youngster. He's still a teenager. Oh my word. He really has picked up exactly where he left off in 2012 with a storming run there. One of his quickest ever. It is very close to the fastest time in the world this year.
And Tim, he takes a full second off his season best, and you're right, Jeremy Warner, who looked very good at the Texas Relays a few weeks ago in relay duty, just went to sleep on this backstretch. You want to take advantage of that tailwind back there. You know, Jeremy is not the biggest guy ever, but Llewellyn Santos says, okay, you're going to shift back? Fine, I'm just going to make a move. And I think it took Jeremy by surprise, and when you get out of your rhythm and you see a guy and feel a guy go past you like that, it really upsets your game plan. To his credit, he did lift pretty well in the home stretch, but it was way past gone at that point. And Santos on the way to an outstanding time, just missing the world best this year by 2/100ths of a second. And Tim, this is an event that is now being dominated by teenagers.
Bizarre, isn't it? It's like watching the East Africans in the middle distances. Goodness me. Santos, 44.74. It's only the second sub-45 second clocking of this season. Jeremy Warner second, Marcus Boyd third, but they were both way, way back behind this young man. Well, Jeremy Warner, did he fall asleep or not? Dan?
All right, Jeremy. Second place at the Texas Relay, second place here at Drake. An improvement, but it looked like you had some. Had some concentration problems on the back straight. Tell us about your race a little bit.
Yeah, I got out good, and I think I eased off too much down the back stretch. I had the wind at my back, and I should have used that to my advantage. But I finished better this week than I did last week. My time is better, so I'm improving.
What's going on with these teenagers? How come they're running so fast?
They're fresh. I'm old.
You're not that old. You're only 29.
Yeah, old compared to these guys. But I'll be fine come USA's.
Are you confident that you can return to running those mid-44 second runs?
Low 44, high 43s at least.
All right. We expect it from you.
Really.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's good to hear. Only 10 men in history have gone under 44 seconds. Warner's one of them, of course. The only one of them who is not American in this totally USA-dominated event is Kirani James. But this young man might join them on that sort of form, I reckon, Dwight. So from one astonishing teenager in the 400 meters to another one coming up, Mary Kane, the 16-year-old sensation from New York, up against the USA's trio of London Olympians. How can she do against the women? She's still a young girl, this lass, but she races like a lion. Tuesday, downtown Des Moines played host to the 4th annual Grand Blue Mile. It was a chilly 42 degrees, but still 4,500 amateur runners came out to participate. And for the professionals, it was the US National Road Championships. 13 elite women competed, and it came down to a sprint finish along Grand Avenue. 24-year-old Katie Grace just beat out last year's winner, Sarah Hall, with a time of 4:43.02, a new course record. And Kate Grace is in this lineup here again today, looking to break 4:10 for the first time, though these conditions may certainly work against any quick times. We can look at the records, though. Forget that world record of Gu Yongxia back in 1993, 350. Anything around 4:05, 4:07 today would be very good running. This is an Olympic Games rematch, of course. Shannon Robury, 6th in that Olympic final in London against Morgan Useney, who has had such a tough time these last couple of years in major championships. She failed to finish after falling in London. And Jen Simpson, of course, went out in the semi-finals in London, even though she was world champion from the previous year. Well, Shannon Robury, no 1,500 competitions this year. This is her season's opener, coached by John Cook, the bronze medalist back in 2009 in Berlin at the World Championships. He's very strong, is Robury, with 8:31 for 3,000.
And Jenny Simpson, who is on the right of the screen, reigning world champion. This is also her first race of the year, and next to her with that 5 on her singlet, that is Morgan Useney. She has fallen at the last 2 major international championships, but has been one of the strongest 1,500-meter runners in the world. If she maybe just has to employ Mary Slaney's tactics and get out in front of everybody and just run them into the ground.
And young Mary Kane is in there somewhere with a ponytail in that all-black strip, which was so familiar last winter. She had an astonishing indoor season, including victory at the US National Indoor Championships. She's 16 years old. She's not going to be 17 until the 3rd of May. Mary Kane has shown enormous maturity throughout this indoor season. She's had these USA Indoor Championships, and a 16-year-old has taken the title. She hasn't just taken it, she's thrashed them.
I'm 16, we don't want to put too much pressure on. It's a lot of like, go out here, focus on these 3 things, have fun, and then as long as I do that, it's a successful race.
Well, Mary Kane, can she pick up where she left off the indoor season about 8 weeks ago? She lifted that US indoor title. We can take a look at the field now. It's a big field, 12 competitors out there. The pace will be laid down by Renee Tomlin of the USA. 65 seconds for the first 400, and maintaining that pace to 800 is the target. But that might be tall order in these conditions. That obviously would end up in an ending time of around 4:05, 4:06 for the full distance. Certainly there are athletes who are well capable of that, but the breeze will undoubtedly be a factor. Morgan Useney in this lineup has got so much disappointment coiled up inside those legs after the last 2 years. There she is wearing 5 in the yellow. Shannon Robury, this is her opening race, the former ballet dancer and Irish dancer as well, based in San Francisco. Morgan Useney to the right of picture there, spent the last 3 weeks in California training in the warmth after a cold winter in the UK, where she and her coach Terence Mahan have rebased themselves this last few months.
And Tim, we hate to belabor the whole condition situation, but this weather is going to be very, very difficult for these women to try and run a fast time. The wind is just not going to allow it as they come up the home stretch. It's really, really gusting, and that's going to hurt all the women. But Mary Kane, who is trying to beat her high school record, it will be very, very tough to try to go under 4:11 in these conditions for her.
Well, Rennie Tomlin taking them at a very healthy pace at the moment. They're clicking along. That's Jenny Simpson in second place, the reigning world champion who had such a disappointing 2012 season. She holds the US record for the steeplechase. Jen Simpson there in second place, but she, after winning here last year, went on to have what was a season that just went from one low to another, frankly. She never found her form. Good to see Mary Kane, Dwight, in third place. This kid is so full of confidence, so aggressive.
Well, you've got a chance to watch her all indoor season, and you've used the exact right term. Her coach, Alberto Salazar, is teaching this young lady, who already was pretty aggressive for a young high schooler, to be even more aggressive and to win the indoor national championships. The senior nationals has only bolstered her confidence more. She believes everything that Alberto tells her, and she has to believe her own results.
Well, they've gone through 400 there in around 65 seconds, something like that. Tomlin doing a really good job. Simpson up for the task as well. Rodbury moving into third place. Kane in fourth. They're all up there at the moment, just looking for Usaini Morgan at the moment. Morgan Usaini, rather. But these three beginning to ease away around the top bend there, because this pace is quick. Mary Kane's PR, by the way, outdoors 4:11. She almost broke that indoors during the Millrose Games mile back in February. But she looks to be struggling just a little bit now, back in fifth place.
But you got to give it to Jenny Simpson and Shannon Roberich. They're staying right on Renee Tomlin's pace, and Tomlin's doing a fantastic job considering how difficult it is to really pace yourself through in this situation. She's out there taking the full brunt of the wind in this home stretch, trying to bring them through in 2 minutes and 10 seconds would really set them up for a good time, but more importantly, a great race. Simpson looking as good as she has in the last, certainly, year. As you mentioned, 2012, just not a stellar year for her, and Robury right there, always dangerous.
Well, about 2:11.5 there at 800 meters. Morgan Usaini having a bad one at the moment. She says she never races well early season, but she's way back down the field at the moment as Tomlin continues to lead from Simpson, Robury, and Grace there. Kate Grace, who we said won the Grand Blue Mile just last week, looking very strong. Simpson now out in front. I mentioned earlier that she's got good strength, Jen Simpson, as a former steeplechaser, and the gaps are pretty big now. They're very evenly spaced, these first 4 or 5 athletes. There's about 3 or 4 yards between each of them, as Jen Simpson looking oozing confidence here, looking very aggressive too. Down the home straight is easing away from Robury, who herself is a strong athlete, and this is a fabulous surge from Jen Simpson. She's determined this will not come down to a sprint finish.
Well, she's looking a lot like she did right out of college, and that's not surprising. She's back with her college coach, Mark Wetmore, at Colorado, and she is running away from this field right now. Robury does not have an answer. See if she can gather herself in this backstretch. Kate Grace looking to be in a good position in third right now, and as you mentioned, Morgan Usaini completely out of it, way back. But Jenny Simpson, very, very aggressive, very, very confident. With 200 meters to go, I don't think anybody can catch her now, Tim.
170 to go, and Jenny Simpson, the world champion at her majestic best, round the crown of the bend. She's destroyed this field with a surge over the second half of this 1,500 meters here in the Drake Stadium. She's put to bed a very, very strong field indeed. That's a 30-meter gap as the battle for the minor places goes on behind her. But in glorious isolation, Jenny Simpson comes on, battling into the teeth of this wind down the home straight. That's a 35-meter victory for Jen Simpson. 4:04.86 is the fastest time in the world this year, and a new stadium record to boot for Jen Simpson. And I think on the back of that run over the last 4 minutes, we can say with some confidence that the world champion is back.
That was a fantastic performance by Jenny Simpson. She dropped the hammer with about 500 meters to go and never stopped, never looked back. And with all our complaints about the wind, Mary Kane sets a national high school record in 6th place, 4:10.77.
That is a better run than we saw from Jen Simpson throughout the entire 2012 Olympic season. Mary Kane finishing there in a new PR in those conditions. That is fantastic. Very, very difficult too, because they went out quickly. I think maybe a little bit too quick for the first couple of laps. Jen Simpson hung back a little bit and then kicked in hard, but that is fantastic time in these conditions.
Well, Renee Timlin did a great job. Here's Jen Simpson right here. Darning did be in position to take the lead. Shannon Robury right behind her to the right, and she just started driving. At this point, really, she took it in from 600 meters out. That's when she's passing the rabbit, who stopped there. And from there on, she just never looked back, never stopped pumping. This is the way she used to race in college, when she was so far and away better than everyone that she was racing against at 1,500 meters and at the 3,000.